pasted in the first question. All right, so the question asks about whether the angles are alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, or consecutive interior angles. So we'll go with 6 and 3. So 6 is here and 3 is there. This is the transversal that's between the two parallel lines there, and these alternate over the transversal, and this region is also the interior. So sometimes it's AIA, alternate interior angles. It should just be a definition, interior angles. I'm just looking to see if there's any other ones here. Okay, let's go to 1 and 14. So 1 and 14, angle 1 is a box that in, angle 1 I box that in. They alternate over this, but we don't know that lines S and T are parallel. Actually, they don't look. It doesn't look parallel at all. There is a transversal, so the transversal for this one is P, but the lines aren't parallel. So I'm not. They are exterior because they're not in the interior region. So it's like S looks like this, and T looks like this, and P is that transversal, and this is the interior region, this is the exterior, and this is the exterior. So for 2, that they would be considered alternate exterior. Does that sound okay? Something you've seen in class? Yeah. Alternate exterior. 3, we got 10 and 11. So 10 and 11, they are on the same side of the transversal. They also are consecutive because they're right next to each other. So same side, if they're like in the interior, they are considered to be consecutive. There's actually a bunch of these. So would it be better if I told you like all of the alternate interior angles, all of the exterior angles, all of the corresponding? Would that be better, or are these definitions clear from class?
They're kind of clear.
Okay. So angle 5 and angle 7, I'll use a triangle for those. They are on the same side of the transversal, transversal S in this case, but they're considered to be corresponding because they have the same value. So the generally, like what you have here is if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 4 and 5, 3 and 6, these are both alternate interior angles. The exterior angles would be like 1 and with 8 and 2 with 7. Okay, and then the consecutive would be angles like 3 and 5, 4 and 6. Do you see how they're on the same side of the transversal? And then the last one we talked about was corresponding. Corresponding have the same value or the same position. Like, do you see how 2 and 6, they're sort of like top right? 2 and 6 is top right. 1 and 5, they're top left. 3 and 7 are bottom right. I'm sorry, bottom left. And then 4 and 8 would be bottom right. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next set of questions. Always interrupt me if something isn't clear.
Okay.
Okay, refer to the figure to identify each of the following. A plane parallel to ABCD. So ABCD is the top. So if we consider that the top, then the bottom would be parallel to it. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom is what? What four letters make up the bottom? I imagine.
Um, G, F, H, and E.
G, F, H, E. Perfect. Okay, so number 6 says skew. So GH is like the front of the box, front bottom of the box there.
Mm-hmm.
The skew though has to contain point D. So what it is, it's a line that's not parallel. Like DC is sort of parallel to it, but that would actually be okay. DF, it doesn't. It doesn't. Basically, skew means it can't intersect. Can't
Mm-hmm.
intersect. And then more importantly though is it's not on the same plane.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually a few answers here, like DF for sure would be good. DA is probably also good because it's not parallel.
Mm-hmm.
DC probably would not be okay because, excuse me, there is something that DC does kind of it's kind of parallel to GH if you imagine something kind of a plane that goes through those 4 points, kind of like
Yeah.
through the diagonal of the box. That's why DC probably would not be included. All right, 7. All segments parallel to HE. I'm actually going to I'm going to re-snip the, oops. That was from something else. I'm going to paste the picture so that we can see it here. HE is right here. So do you see how BC is parallel to it?
Mm-hmm.
BC is an answer. AD is parallel to it as well because there's this plane that kind of goes through the diagonal of it. And then the
Mm-hmm.
last one is this GF that's also on the bottom um, of the box there.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel comfortable that you could do this if it was a different shape?
Um,
Like the same, like if it asks you about GA, like if it said all segments parallel to or GA, for example.
I think we should do one more example.
Okay, so let's say let me make up a new one here. I'm gonna get rid of that. So let's say parallel to AG. So here's AG. Can you give me just one that's parallel to AG?
BH?
Did you say B followed by H?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good one. Give me another one here.
DF and CE.
DF and CE, good. So they all sort of look like they're the posts here for this. Great. Okay, so we're up to number 8. 8 is a multiple choice. They there's this kind of could be a bunch of different questions because there are all of the possible ones in here. So let me get it snipped in and down here. So angle 4 and angle 8, they are corresponding
Mm-hmm.
by definition. So to make this sort of more interesting, can you give me an alternate, I'm sorry, give me an alternate interior first. Like angle 4 goes with which angle to be alternate interior?
Angle 6.
Angle 6, okay. Give me alternate exterior using angle 8.
2 and 8.
Very good. And then consecutive interior, there's two options there. It's angle 3 with angle 6, or it's angle 4 with angle 5.
Okay.
Okay, so 9 through 12. 9 through 12 is the kind of thing you definitely would see on a quiz. Um, there's like two situations here. The angles are equal or they add up to 180. Okay, so they give you, let me see if I can scroll just a little tiny bit. No, okay. So measure of angle 4 is 104,
Mm-hmm.
and angle 14 is 118. Okay. So that's enough to find all the other ones here. Um, like, let's look at angle 2. So I like to start with where angle 2 is and then try to find something that's equal to it. Like, see how angle 6 is equal to angle 2? Those are alternate interior.
Mm-hmm.
So angle 6 and angle 4, they're the same because of vertical angles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a result, this is equal to angle 6, which is equal to 104 degrees.
Okay.
The same thing with angle 9. Angle 9, okay, there's angle 9. What is it equal to? What's another angle that it's equal to? And there's kind of a divide here down. Let me see if I can do it. Like there's this side of it, and then there's the other side of it. So we're just focusing on like this side down here when we're looking at angle 9.
Okay.
So 9 is the same as like 15, for example,
Yeah.
and 15 is the same as 11, and 11 is the same as 13, but we haven't gotten to the one number that we have. But what do we know about 13 and this other angle here? What do these two have to add up to?
180.
Add up to 180. So the other angle here is 62 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we get 13, because measure of angle 13 plus 118 degrees has to equal 180 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It does say to tell which postulates or theorems you used. So
Mm-hmm.
that refers to alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, vertical angles, um, supplementary angles,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. Let's do the other two, but I'm going to snip in the picture again because the one we just used got kind of messy. So angle 10 is right there.
Mm-hmm.
10 is equal to 100. I'm sorry, 10 is equal to 14. What
Okay.
allows 10 and 14 to be equal? What's the postulate?
Alternate interior.
That's right, alternate interior angles. And that tells you that angle 10 is the same as angle 14. And we know that
Mm-hmm.
angle 14 is 118 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to look at angle 7. Angle 7 is equal to angle 3 by alternate interior angles.
Yeah.
We know that angle 4 is here next to it, so know that angle 3 plus angle 4, they add up to 180 by supplementary angles.
Mm-hmm.
So angle 3 is not known, but angle 4 is 104 degrees. They add up to 180 degrees. That means that angle 3 must be 76 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at I'm going to the top of the other column here. Find x. Okay. It doesn't, it should tell you, and I'm going to snip this in, it should tell you that the two lines are parallel. You do need to know that. Since they're
Mm-hmm.
parallel, there's two choices. Either those things add up to 180 or they are equal. Which is true here? Do these two angles add up to 180 or are they equal?
Um,
And these are parallel. So like the way I would answer is this, I'd be like, okay, that right there, 3x minus 9 is the same as that, 3x minus 9.
mm-hmm.
And then 3x minus 9 would go up here because of alternate interior angles. You see I moved it?
Yeah.
And then these are vertical angles. And we know that vertical angles are equal. So we're going to set 3x minus 9 equal to 2.5x plus 15.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so to solve this, we're going to subtract 2.5x from both sides. We're going to add 9 to both sides. And so on the left, you get 0.5x equals 24. And then to clear the 0.5x, you're going to multiply both sides by 2. So you get x equals 48. So like I said, there's two things that can happen here. You're either going to set them equal,
Mm-hmm.
or they add up to 180. And these are not the same, but you could always, you're looking for one of those situations. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're up to 14. All right, Amy is setting up two parallel tracks so that a third track runs diagonally across the first two. To properly place a switch, she needs the angle between the diagonal and the top right portion of the track to be twice as large as the angle between the diagonal and the bottom right portion of the track. What is the measure of the angle between diagonal and the top right portion of the track? Okay. So this one, I mean, even I'm struggling a little bit to draw the picture. Sorry, let me get back to
Mm-hmm.
that. Sorry, get that there. Okay, so we have track 1, track 2, and we have a diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
She needs the angle between the diagonal and the top right portion of the second track to be this one right here, to be twice as large as the angle between the diagonal and the bottom right portion of the first track. Okay, so uh, that's what I envision, I guess. Top right portion is this one,
Mm-hmm.
and bottom right portion is down here. This one has to be twice as large. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we can start moving this. Like 2x really goes there, and then
Yeah.
2x really goes there because these are parallel. So we know that 2x plus x has to equal 180. These two angles right here, these are 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So we have 3x equals 180, x equals 60, and then this time it's not asking for x. It's not asking for x. It's asking for the angle measures. So we have to put um, these numbers back in. So this top right one is 2 times 60, which is 120 degrees. And then the one down here is just 60 degrees. So the picture I made is actually not quite correct. It actually goes the other direction. It doesn't change the answer at all, but this is 120 degrees, and that kind of looks correct. And then this down here is 60 degrees. This is acute. This is obtuse up here. This reinforces the whole idea of, either they're equal or they add up to something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're moving into questions that are a little bit more algebraic, meaning you're going to have to do a little bit more calculations for them. Determine whether AB and XY are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So the way to do this is you have to find the slope from A to B, and then the slope from X to Y. And there's two possibilities. The first is that they are the same. Actually, there's three possibilities. If they're the same, that means they're parallel. The second is that they multiply to -1. That means that they are perpendicular. And if
Mm-hmm.
none of the first two are true, then it's neither.
Yeah.
So it comes down to your ability to find the slope y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. For the
Mhm.
sake of time, I'm just going to do 16, and we
Okay.
can always come back because it's even, so you probably don't have that. The slope from A to B is minus 9 minus 1, x1, y1, x2, y2, over 6 minus 1. So this becomes negative 10 over 5, it's negative 2. The slope xy, I'm going to run out of room here. That's okay. The slope xy is minus 4 minus a minus 10 over 7 minus 4. So the top, these two become plus, so it becomes a 6 up top over 3, which is 2. So my first question is, are these the same? No.
Mhm.
One's positive, one's negative. What do they multiply to? Negative 2 times 2 equals negative 4. Is that negative 1? The answer
No.
is no, so they are neither. So you have the answer to 15 in the back. I would recommend doing that as part of your review. If we have time, we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
All right. Find the slope of each line. Okay, so this is kind of more practice the same. They're giving you a few things to consider here. So line L. So line L has this point and this point on it. So I want you to use the slope formula to find the slope of line L, please.
Wait, line L is -4, 9, and then -10, 0.
Yeah, those are the 2 points you're going to use to find the slope.
Okay. -3/2.
So the slope has to be positive because you're going up and to the right.
Oh, wait.
So
Oh, no, number 6. Oops. Okay.
should be 3/2. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
All right, so 18 is a line parallel to M. So M is this one, I guess it's, yeah, boy, these labels aren't very clear. I guess it's this one. Um, it says parallel, but parallel lines have the same slope, so you can just find the slope of M. So
Mm-hmm.
you're going to use the ordered pairs negative 10 comma 0 and 10 comma negative 4 to find your slope. Now it should be negative because you're going down and to the right this time. So the numerator is -4 minus 0, y2 minus y1 over 10 minus negative 10. Let me know when you're ready to move to 19.
Exactly.
Okay, so perpendicular to n, that's there's a lot in that. You have to first find the slope of line n. Okay, so we're going to use the points 2 comma 6 and 10 comma -4.
Yeah.
Go ahead and find that slope for me, and then we'll talk about how to find the perpendicular slope. Let me know what you get for the slope there.
-5/4.
-5/4. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. Two lines are perpendicular if the slope of one line times the slope of the other line equals -1. Sometimes this is better phrased as opposite sign reciprocal.
Yeah.
So that means that you flip this and then you change the sign. So if it's positive, it goes to negative. If it's negative, it goes to positive.
So
you got 4/5 there.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's see here. We're doing good on time, so keep going here. 20 for sure. Okay, so the review just goes up to 20. I thought it went up to something else on the other page. So
No,
is the second page an assignment that you also need to go through?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I will quickly go through 20. I thought you had a 30 question review. Okay. What is the rate of change in approximate sales from 2008 to 2011? Rate of change, you have to train yourself to know that this means slope.
Okay.
So year is the X and the sales is the Y. So it's part A is just asking for the slope. It's asking for Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1, 330,000 minus 240,000 over 2011 minus 2008. The numbers look large, but they do work out reasonably nice here. 330 minus 240,000 is 90,000. And then there's a 3-year gap between them. So this becomes $30,000.
Okay.
So that means every year it's going up by 30,000. Is that reasonable? Yeah, of course. So if it goes up $30,000 or 30,000 in sales every year, 2015 is how many years after 2011?
4 years.
4 years. So 4 years later, it's going to be 4 times 30,000, which is 120,000. And what do we add that number to? We know the sales in 2011, so that's what we're going to start with. That's our base year. So we're going to add 120,000 to that, and it becomes $450,000 in sales. Okay, so looking at the other page, which questions do you need to go through, or what is unclear?
I just need to do 1 through 19.
1 through 19. Okay, well I only see 13, starting at 13.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's fine. 13 through 30.
Yeah, I'm seeing 13 through 30. So
Yeah.
do you need to go through, was all of this assigned, each of these 3 blocks? There's like 13 through 18, 19 through 24.
Yeah, 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need to do 13 through 30.
Okay, so for time's sake, I'm going to go through the even ones,
Okay.
and the odd ones you'll have access to. If there's time, we can go back.
Okay.
So it says write an equation in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So if you have a quiz, you have to know this in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And the name tells you what's missing. You're missing the slope and the intercept. Well, in 14, they give you the slope and they give you the b value. That means all you have to do is put those values in. These are the kinds of questions you want a lot of on this quiz because you just put the
Yeah.
numbers into the equation.
Wait, would it be wrong if you put y equals -7x minus 4?
They're the same. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're both the same.
Okay.
16, y equals mx plus b. The slope is 12. The b value is 4/5.
Mm-hmm.
Y equals 12x plus 4/5. Okay. 18, y equals mx plus b. They give you the slope. That's fine. That's comfortable. This time, though, they tell you that there's a point, 0, -3. If you graph that point, 0, -3, that means you're down here. The b value is the y-intercept. So they're in effect giving you the y-intercept. That's the b value.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to disguise it in another way. So this is y equals 5/11x minus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Might get a little bit more difficult here. So number 20 says write an equation in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. This is point slope form. The point is x1 comma y1, and the slope is m.
Mm-hmm.
The 20 gives you the slope,
Mm-hmm.
and they also give you a point. They give you -4 comma 8. They're just asking you to take those values and put them into the equation. So we have y minus 8, that's y1, equals 4, x minus -4. So the only other adjustments you have to make here is you wouldn't leave two negatives next to each other. So the correct answer is x plus 4, like this. You do not, you stop right here. It's odd because you're thinking, oh, I gotta do something here, but no, you just stop.
Mm-hmm.
You leave it as is. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to distribute. You don't have to solve for y. It's just what it is. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So let's look at 22. 22 gives you the slope again. It gives you the slope is 5/7, and it gives you a point, -2, -5. Y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. So this time y1 is negative, so I'm going to write y minus -5 in parentheses. Your slope 5/7, x minus parentheses -2. So this time you have to reduce both of the left and the right side because of the negatives. So it'll look like y plus 5 equals 5/7 x plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so 24 is no difference. That's interesting. Anyway, 24 has a slope of -2.4 and a point 14 comma -12. y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. It really helps to write this every time.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like extra, but the more you do it, it's just ingrains it in you.
Yeah.
Y minus minus 12 equals minus 2.4 x minus 14. Y plus 12 equals negative 2.4 x minus 14. So this time only on the left side do you have to actually reduce or combine the two negatives. All right, so the last set of questions here, they're the most difficult of this grouping. That's why they come last. 26 here. It wants the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. You have to know your target before you begin. The slope is what you have to find, and then the b value. This time to find the slope, you have to use the slope formula.
Mm-hmm.
So the slope here, you're looking at points 2 comma negative 1 and 2 comma 6. What is, well, interestingly, let's do the slope together. 6 minus a minus 1 over 2 minus 2. What do you notice about the bottom?
It's 0.
0, that's bad. If we were to graph these points, 2, negative 1 is here, 2, 6 is up here somewhere. What kind of a line is this?
Vertical.
Vertical line. I don't know why they introduced it here because it is an exception. Vertical lines always have the form x equals a number. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have a standard form. So this one, the equation of the line is x equals 2. The way that I've said this to you in the past to read it is x is always 2, always 2. And that's what x equals 2 means when you write it as the equation of a line.
Yeah.
So I don't know, why did they do that? Well, 27 is the same way. They give you a vertical line for some reason. All right, we'll just move to 28.
Okay.
It's bad because you're trying to learn something and you get an exception that doesn't help learning very well. Okay, the slope. Go ahead and calculate the slope for me of this one, please.
2/3.
So this time it's negative 2/3.
Oh, I had that. I just didn't want to say it negative because I thought it would be wrong.
Okay, have some confidence in yourself. We've worked together for a long time here. I'm not going to discourage you in any way. So
Okay.
this is where you have a choice. Okay, you can either immediately write it in y equals mx plus b form,
Mm-hmm.
or you might go to y minus y1 equals mx minus x1 form. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
the decision though is made because what kind of a point is this right here? If you were to graph that, what would that represent here? What is this act? What is this right here? Going vertical.
Um,
It's the y-axis, right?
yeah.
So this is the b value.
Mm-hmm.
So when they give you the b value, when they give you b, given b, you want to go down this path over here on the left because you
Mm-hmm.
have the slope and you have the b value. So it's y equals minus 2/3 x plus 5.
Mm-hmm.
But that only works because you have the b value. If you don't have it, you want to go down this other road.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see that in 30. Try to explain that in 30. Okay, 30. I want you to find the slope between 2 and 4 minus 4, minus 11. Give me the slope, please. Final answer.
Negative 15/6.
Okay, does that reduce at all?
Oh, yeah.
Does it
5/2.
becomes
Negative 5/2.
5/2? They're both negative, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes, so two negatives make the positive, so you have 5/2.
Oh, okay.
Are either of these the the intercept, the y-intercept, the b-value?
Wait, what?
Are either of these the b-value? Like, are any of these? And the b-value is 0, comma, a number.
No.
So my recommendation would be to pick a point, and I like this one here, and go y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. This may not be the way
Mm-hmm.
you saw it in class or in your book, but that's why you're here, to get something different. Y minus 4 equals 5/2 x minus 2. Now we're not done, because we need to get this into y equals mx plus b form. And essentially that means to solve for y. So to do that, you're going to distribute that 5/2. You're going to have 5/2 x minus 2 times 5/2. What is 2 times 5/2? Well, the 2's cancel. So you have y minus 4 equals 5/2 minus 5. And then you add 4 to both sides. So you get y equals 5/2 x minus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have 5 minutes left here. Which problems do you want to do more of from this section?
I'm not sure. Any of them are fine.
Okay, so we'll start at 25. I can tell these just aren't as clear. The
Yeah.
slope for 25 is always, when you have 2 points, you always find the slope. I mean, it's just a normal thing to do. So the
Yeah.
slope here is -4 minus a -4 over 3 minus a -1. So whenever it's negative and on the right, you put it in parentheses. So what does the top become this time?
The top becomes 0.
0. And 0 divided by anything is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, slope can equal 0.
Yeah.
Now, why is that? It's because it's a horizontal line. So horizontal is another exception. I don't know why this is in there. Horizontal lines always have the form y equals a number.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, this one, it's y equals -4. Y is always -4. That's what this means.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at 29. I already talked about 27. It's a vertical line. So 29, got to find the slope here. All right, so the slope is 9 minus a -6 over 8 minus a -12. So that becomes 15 over 20, and that reduces to 3/4. As I asked you in an earlier question, are either of these points the b value? And you would know that if it was 0, comma, a number.
Mm-hmm.
Are either of these the b-value? No, no.
No.
So the best way, in my opinion, is to use point slope form. This is point slope form, and use the slope you just found and a point, okay? So I'm going to use the positive one because
Mm-hmm.
it makes the numbers nicer. So sorry about that. Uh, this second screen I use doesn't scroll as well. Y minus 9 equals 3/4 x minus 8. So this is where you have to be comfortable distributing on the right side. 3/4 x minus 8 times 3/4. You're going to divide before you multiply. You can multiply and then divide. I prefer to divide because the numbers get smaller. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So that's why this on the right side here becomes 6. And then you're going to add 9 to both sides. So you have
Mm-hmm.
y equals 3/4 x plus 3. All right, so this is a great place to stop here. We did cover everything. I'm going to send this to you right away as a PDF. The video, though, won't upload tonight, so I have to wait until tomorrow on that one.
Okay.
Try to work on these on your own as well. And just a reminder, if you ever need like an earlier lesson in the day, just text me. You've got my number
Okay.
already. I have to put it up manually, so because I've sometimes got other stuff going on. But if you need something earlier so you can get some studying in, just let me know. That
Okay.
is it. And thanks for letting me help you tonight. I hope everything goes well on your
Thank you
quiz.
so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'll send this out shortly. Bye now.
Okay. Thank you.